Alright, welcome back to the next tutorial. This time we're going to be doing Relic Maze. So, some knowledge bomb here. I'm not going to be as in-depth as I was on Dragon Valley, but I will, once in a while, bring something up, because it's going to be important. So, there won't be like, it's a long and redoing explanation. No, that won't this time. But, we're going to be running Relic Maze. So the general gist here, what we're going to learn about Relic Maze, as I start opening it up here, is Relic Maze has a lot of slopes, like a lot. So there's going to be a lot of slope movement. There's going to be, yeah, basically a lot of slope movement. I'm just thinking about it, like, it's just a lot of timing on the slope. So you can get a lot of variable speeds. So a lot of the tech here is going to be a little off. So we're going to try to employ as much tech as we can on straight platforms like this, because there's going to be a lot of instances where you get this. It's going to happen a lot, these slopes. So if you remember before, it's like, oh, jump off every slope, because, Sonic freedom physics, you go faster when you jump off slopes, and this is going to happen a lot. And we have something that's kind of like a micro slope kind of thing. There's going to be small deviations, and it's not really, we're not actually technically on straight platforms. You're gonna notice this, especially on this very first screen. You'll notice this, a little bit more in forward here. Oh, that didn't go all the way up. I want to show you what I'm referring to when I say micro slope before I begin, because you're gonna see this all over the place on this very first screen. So micro slopes, you're gonna see, are very tiny slopes like this, where this ground is not straight, and it's very easy, and technically, because this is a slope, you can technically jump off of that and get some sort of speed boost off of it. It is legit, but this can actually influence your entire run because it's little slopes like this, and you can see this throughout the entirety of Relic Maze. So if I do something here and then you try to replicate it, and you're like, why is it not working? Blame the level. It's just, you have to be able to adjust whenever possible. So let's go back to the start here. Okay, good, that took me back to the start. Alright, so Relic Maze, the first screen is pretty straightforward actually. You should actually have 0 energy on the energy bar, but we'll make this work out here. Because why it's actually important to have 0 energy on that bar is, actually, I don't have to do that. I believe if I just do a restart from starting frame, you can kind of see why here. So I actually kind of want to start with 0 energy. See if that gives me 0 energy when I start. I think it should. Okay, it does. So why do I make this big stint about this initial energy? It's because what you're supposed to do at the opening is just hop, collect these 2 crystals. They're very vital. Hit the wall, hop. And then here's our first tech we're going to do here. It's very similar to Dragon Valley. Like, oh, we'll dive kick into it. Yeah, but as you want to jump off this slope, and then you want to do a down spin here. There you go. And you want to propel yourself in the air. And so why I keep saying, oh, energy is important, is because when you do this, if you look at the energy bar, you're actually not going to have max energy when you're up here. You want to have as close as possible to max energy when you land on this platform in particular. Because once you land here, you want to immediately boost. Like this. And then immediately down kick. Like that. This is going to land you 100% of the time right here if you do it in the correct timing and spacing and so forth. And after you do this, you notice at the very edge on the right side of the screen, there's a momentary flat ground. Remember, we don't want to touch any slopes here, are going to be so annoying. Because remember, this whole level is basically slopes. We want to get onto that point where we're right at the edge, and then do another down kick. Like that. I know that went really fast, but trust me, I did a down kick there. And as we're in air, I'm going to immediately do a cyclone. I'm going to hold right down. Cyclone down kick again. This is going to, you remember how, like, if you down kick, it kind of keeps your vertical height? We want to do that so we can land on the next platform. Oops. I screwed that up. But if you did it correctly, it should land us, like, right here. And then you're going, and then you immediately do another down kick, which should clear us right here. And then once we get here, we're just going to do hop, and you should actually be able to avoid that, but if you don't avoid it, it's fine. And you want to land here, because once you're here, you can just do boom, boom, and you're up at the bush. That's the whole first part basically done almost. Then once you get up to this arrow, you just do a rolling boost right, ground cyclone, or actually you don't even have to do the ground cyclone, I just like doing it, but you just hop off that slope, you're gonna land over here, and you hop right here. Once you get here, you cleared basically the initial segment of this level. So let's see this whole thing in action. So once again, you should always have 0 energy, so don't ever practice this with full energy. There we go, boom boom. You can boost there, even though I didn't land on it, it's fine, it's just gonna take the risk. There it is. Oh, there you go. I kind of did it there, I kind of almost forgot to do it. Do the boost, hop up, there we go. Yeah, I'd like to do the cyclone because you get a little bit more height, and then you can just fall down. And then once you start falling down, yeah, once again, like I said, so I like having more height because I like to go down. I don't like to always edge it out and then hop. That's just my personal preference here. So as you fall down here, there's going to be the fire thing. So these things, the fire thing you can see at the bottom right, that's on the ceiling. It shoots fireballs. You don't have to worry about the timing of this. It's as soon as it comes on screen, it'll start doing fireballs and whatnot. So don't worry about it. It's not global timer. But we want to get to the right side of the screen. There's going to be a door at the bottom, which is where like the yellow rune key or whatever is. There's 2 keys here. There's a purple and yellow one. We're going to do some fancy magic with that, but we need to get to the other side of the screen. So I'm going to do this the cheap way, but there's a fast way, I assure you. So the cheap way is we're going to unpause for a second here. Now, while I'm falling, what I tend to do is I tend to just immediately cyclone to stop Lilac's downward momentum. This will keep her in a position near where I want to be. You want to be just under that fireball because you want to boost right. You could do this by jumping straight up and then doing it, or as you fall, you can do that, or if you're baller, you can use pause buffering. And pause buffering, if you don't know what that is you pause the game like this until you get to where you want to be. So here, let's just say I was falling, I boost, hold down the jump and whatever. This is going to land us on this platform, and then as soon as we land, we're going to do a jump, cyclone down. Oop, there we go, messed that up. I don't think I can actually pull this off again after the first attempt. There we go. And then once I'm doing a cyclone down, I do a nice little drop kick just to rest assured that I do get past here. And then once you're there, you get to this point, you're going to hit this door. This door right here, I've said this in the first level, like, oh, this screen's a fade out, that screen's a fade out, oh my goodness, there's a fade out. And I explained a little bit what the fade out is. Basically, the fade out saves like 0.15 seconds to 0.33 seconds, and it allows you to skip the transition as you fade off the screen. For whatever reason, I don't know the technical reason why Relic Maze is different from all other levels, but on Relic Maze, when you attempt to fade out, it will work 100% of the time, regardless of when you enter the door. Usually with fade outs, there's a slight delay. I will show you after I showcase the fade out here. So let's say fade out skip. So as soon as you walk through this door, you notice the screen starts fading out. Pause the game like this. You can either do quit or restart, it doesn't matter. You're going to hit OK. I know this is going to sound weird, but for whatever reason, when you hit OK and then unpause the game, it will just immediately complete the fade out, but it won't kick you out of the game or restart it. So watch, I'm going to hit quit and then immediately unpause. Look at that. It just phases us right through the door. And this can save vital RTA time because the clock is always still going even as you fade out. So this can, on a Relic Maze, this is easy because it never fails. Because there's no delay required, whatever. So you notice that actually can save fractions of seconds, and you can do this on any door in Relic Maze. So you can imagine you get back like almost upwards to 5 seconds for free. So always do the fade out in Relic Maze. But I do want to go back to a previous level here for a second, because the remaining fade outs on any other level is way different. They are actually a lot more difficult to do. So we're back on Dragon Valley for a split second here, because I want to show you how it looks on every other door. So I need to get to the very first fade out is going to be the very first fade out is going to be on the end of this first screen here. So this is a great way to remember how Dragon Valley works, as you can tell, and how it looks if I don't screw it up, which is besides the point. Alright, so I'm going to boost off this. Whenever you do the boost, you fall off. Okay. Notice how the screen's starting to fail, but you notice how I didn't do a fade out immediately. because you have to delay the screen just enough, like about roughly halfway through the transition. So I'm gonna pause again real fast. There you go. This should be roughly enough. I do have a window open, so my lighting is a little off, but you can get used to the lighting about how dark it should be. This is roughly correct. So if I do the restart here, it should go through. Okay, so I was a little bit off. That's why I did say the warning with the lighting on my window, because when I have a window open, the lighting is slightly off on my screen, so I can't actually get the coloration right. So as you can tell, that's what happens. Yeah, make sure you have consistent lighting. It's very important for this trick, because you need to 100% be able to recognize what the screen's supposed to look like. Some screens are a little bit more tight than other screens. This first screen is unusually tight, so don't worry if you struggle practicing on this particular screen when it comes to fade out skips, because it is just a very hard screen. But most screens are usually a lot more lenient than this particular screen, which is good. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna try this again. I'm gonna have a little bit more delay onto it. There we go. So this one should be good now. There we go. See, notice how it still goes through, but you have to have that weird, like, wait until it's dark enough and then do it. Most screens, though, you can probably do what I did before, which is a little bit lighter than that. Honestly, the time you save is not as significant compared to Relic maze, where you can do it instantaneously for whatever reason. So that's the fade out skip, which I promised from the first video. So that's what it does. It's always free time saves, and over the course of an entire run, this can save so much time. So honestly, I recommend on Relic maze to do the fade out skip 100% of the time, but every other level, it's up to you whether you want to risk it or not, because messing up the fade out skip, as you just saw what happened, resets you completely and totally. So you have to consider weigh out the risk or not. The more you do fade out skips, the more reliable they become. The more reliable they become, rarely do you ever mess them up. You'll eventually learn that certain doors are very risky and certain doors or exits are pretty consistent. So I'm going to continue with Relic maze. We're going to get back to that position. So once again, this is going to be a quick review. Boom, boom. Drop kick, knock. Here we go. Come down. Oh, there we go. There we go. There, I got it. Then I missed the last jump. Yes. The whole motion of it's pretty tough sometimes. I forgot to do my down kick there. So there we go. Saw me, there you go. I do that. And then we come down. So this is the free fade out skip. 22 seconds is not terrible, but it could be better. Alright, so once we get here, this is when we're going to start doing the very first annoying slope stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to see that there's a hang bar there. We're going to hit that hang bar. I'll just hit it so we can start. It's going to bring us down. Alright, then we're immediately going to jump off to the next hang bar. Alright, so this next hang bar right here, we're going to bring it up, but we're going to kind of cut through. You're technically not supposed to. You're supposed to go all the way around, but we're going to cut through. And as soon as we cut through this, we're going to hit, I'll show you, but we're going to hit the corner of the ceiling, and we kind of want to boost at a down left angle. So I'm going to wait for that to go down, hit it, and then drop. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I did it backwards. So I'm skipping ahead already. So what I did there is actually something we're supposed to do later. Nope. Okay, good. See how fast you can do that fade out there. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna try this again. Don't ever do a cyclone here. I apologize. You're supposed to pop off like that. There we go. So once you get to this corner, right below it, you do wanna, there we go, do a boost at a down left angle. This is gonna cause us to kind of fly off, and then we're gonna do a drop kick here on the bottom left. Right there. So this is gonna cause us to hit this float. We're gonna go the opposite direction, obviously. We're going to maintain this momentum. The reason why we do it like this is because we want to be on the left side of the screen so we can do that. We don't end up, because if you're on the right side, you're just going to hit this left screen. There's ways to get around it, but this is the easy way. And as you follow it, it's just going to drop you here. Alright, so this next motion is incredibly vital, important. So once you land here, you need to immediately jump, and there's going to be a slope on our left. There we go. So you notice how I immediately drop kick? We need to hit this slope. If you miss this slope, you cannot skip this fireball. If you do not make this slope and pick up that speed instantaneously, this fireball, no matter what you do, cannot be skipped. So hopefully you hit it. As you saw there, I didn't pick up any speed, so I have no choice. Because if I try, well, let's see what happens. Oh, I didn't hit it. Let's see if I go right. Watch what's gonna happen. You get hit. So you have to make that slope if you want to skip that initial fireball. So now what we're gonna be doing now, after hitting this light, is you see that ceiling? There's like a little thing there. Here we go. That tube. Need to boost into that. This is actually a lot harder than it looks, but the more you practice it, the easier it is. There's two ways you can do this. I'll show you the easy way first. Okay? The easy way is pretty slow. I'm actually in position for it right now. You see that pillar? Lilac's foot should be roughly just next to it. You could even be touching it to a degree, but she should be roughly here. Just push the boost button, and then go top right, and she goes into it all the time. Just like that. And then you just kind of follow through, and then once you get here, you just kind of pop down, and then you're good. But that's very slow. We don't like doing that. It is a very slow method, but it's 100% success rate. But it's not a good way of doing it. The better way of doing it is, see this right here? See where Lilac's standing? There's like 2 dark patches of grass under her. I know this sounds really like specific, but there's 2 abnormally dark patches right where Lilac's standing. You can see where her left foot is, there's a dark patch, and where her right foot is, there's a slightly lighter but dark patch. This is actually roughly around here. What you're supposed to do is run and do a rolling boost from the wall, and then you should be in this position precisely. It's incredibly precise, but if you get it, it's insanely fast, because you don't waste time for the boost animation, which is like you lose like a 0.3 seconds or something like that for the boost animation, and from standing still trying to set up. We don't want to do that anyways. So that point I just marked early, so watch, I'm going to attempt to go for it. I don't get 100% because it's a very tight range, so here we go, and we'll wait for this next fireball. I'm going to go right in between the 2, and it goes right in. That position is guaranteed to work all the time, but you have to get it, though. So I'm going to show it one last time, just, for kicks and giggles. So go right in between it. Oops. It would also help if I did a quarter boost as I'm rolling. That would have gone through. Yeah, that's a little bit late. So when you do a little bit late or a little bit early, you just end up hitting it. This is practice. Once her first foot touches it, you should always go in once you are right in there. So once you get up here, you're going to bop down. And then actually, notice how I've been just kind of hopping out? What you're supposed to do is once you're in this tube, you do a bottom right boost. Because you can then hop. And then also, if you do the time rate, you should be able to hit that slope. I kind of missed it. But you want to retain your energy. Because once your energy is full, you want to boost here. And this is... and do a cyclone off that slope. This is very familiar to what you did in Dragon Valley 2-1 to get off that first screen at the end of it. Like you had to do that jump across the lake, and then once you reach the end, there's that curve that looks just like this. Well, you're going to do it here, basically. And then as you do it, you're going to go up onto that ladder. This is also very similar to Dragon Valley 1-1 when you catch the ladder initially. You just go straight up, and remember that mistake I just made at the start of this screen, like, oops, I went up? Well, this is what we actually get to do. If you don't know about this glitch, it's a very simple glitch. You want to jump off and then cyclone onto this pillar that's pushing you down. For whatever reason, it's just going to push Lilac through it, which just zips her straight up to the top of the screen. So I'm going to jump up, hit it, and timing's awful, jump up, and then spin into it, and then cancel. The reason why I cancel is I wouldn't have as much energy as I zip up. And after, like, just the more you practice this, the more you just know when to physically do this, but you want to hit to the top of this, and then just corner boost, drop kick immediately, land you here, just as you keep going, drop kick, and then spin. If you did that right, which I kind of didn't, you should actually be able to land right here perfectly. I think the timing on this is off, so I don't know if I can attempt this again. And my position is going to be way off too, because I can't remember exactly what you're supposed to be. Something like that. But as you do that, you can just kind of, oops, carry it all the way over. Let's see if I can do it at least once, just to show it. Usually I'll do it right most of the time. Oops. Forward. Use that cube here. By the way, don't forget, I am using a trainer, so that's why I get all this fancy BS. Oh, yeah, see, the timing's off, but if you do it right, you should land here. Alright, and then we're gonna get rid of that. Okay, so you notice how we're facing this door. Normally we're not supposed to be able to, but it glitches out the game or whatever, and you can kind of walk through this even though you're not supposed to be able to. This is also going to be the very first time we're going to encounter a point in the game where you can do a high cyclone, a very safe high cyclone that actually will benefit your run. Do I recommend it? It's up to you. Usually safe cyclones like this, I do recommend just to practice it. So if you don't remember how to do safe cyclone from our tutorial number, the initial like practice one, like use all the tech, a high cyclone is where you will jump pause, unpause jump, where you're stacking stuff like this. That's your high cyclone. So we're gonna try and do that right here, and then obviously I magically screwed up. There we go, now you get it. Once you jump over this block and you go over there, you just push the block over. I mean, this is the quick kill on the golem. It's also an achievement. If you don't know this, well, here it is. I just spoiled something for you. So that's how that works. And then once he's dying, once this very last block just kind of lifts off the ground, these blocks over here are going to turn to crystals. Because basically what we just did is we unlocked the yellow and the purple crystal locks, so we can just go right to the exit. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pause buffer, because, here we go, it's going to come up. There you go. So once that pops up or explodes, that's going to turn into crystals. The second that turns into crystals, just restart the game. Because it means it unlocked the door and it lands you here. So once you're here, this is very simple. I know this can be challenging for some people, but trust me and fall off. Because as soon as you fall off, and as soon as you're underneath this, where the ladder is, once you're underneath that platform, just boost, and you're good. Just like that. It's simple, really. It's the most simple movement. And once again, don't forget about fade out skips. Once you on Relic Maze, it's free. It's 100% success rate. So as soon as you go through the door, push restart, and then hit start. Once you're here, just uppercut, cyclone punch. You just gotta get across the platform. Alright, so let me explain the truck. You notice I'm holding right because this truck in particular, I'm just gonna jump. You literally just hold right and jump. If for whatever reason you have to restart on that room with the gem, or while you're on the truck, you cannot do what I just did without getting hit. It resets all the enemies' positions, and they will always be in a position where they can potentially harm you. It's just unfortunate, and there's no way around it. So just keep that in mind. You just hop. I mean, this is nothing yet. But you do see these spikes on the right side of the screen. Once we're underneath it, roughly right where the wheel is, maybe a little bit more off the ground, depending how safe I want to be. This is an achievement. I'm going to spoil some more stuff, what they do. If you boost, you can skip this boss by boosting under the truck. So I'm going to do that real fast. Just going to keep holding right, hit that, right where the wheel is, and then hop, and then blow that up. Simple as that. You don't have to fight the boss, and then boost, and then jump off. The reason why I jump off is because you're clearing it a little bit faster than running it all. Alright, so this is the elevator. So once you land on the elevator, this is a trick I tend to do. Not a lot of people do this or even know about this. Is that if you actually look up and the screen shifts up like this, there's a point on this elevator where it just kind of transitions into the next part of it, which is 2-1. But unless you do this hundreds of times, you know where it is. This is actually a really nifty trick. As long as you hold up, you're gonna see the screen just jolt, going up down kind of thing, like it's not sure what it wants to do. And that's how you know you transition to the next screen. So why is that important? Well, you'll see. So notice it starts turning blue. Notice how I'm pausing. There we go. Notice that was it. That was the screen just jolting because we're entered the next segment. And then once that happens, now we know we're in the second act, basically. Because while we're on this elevator, letting this elevator go all the way down is a waste of time. But once you're on the next act, you can go ahead and hit restart. And it's actually going to teleport you ahead of the elevator. So you save a great deal of time and you're ahead of where you're supposed to be. But you can only do it once you're in the next act. That's why when I held up, you saw that jolt. That's how it's like an indicator to me, hey, we're in the next act scene. I can now restart the game and I won't be doing the whole truck again. So once again, just like the first act, you're going to see a lot of sloping manipulation here. So what we're going to do now is, this part should be pretty straightforward, is we're going to go ahead and we're going to move right. There's two ways to do this, and I'll explain both the other way, the easy way versus the harder way here. But I'm going to do the harder way slightly here, mostly because it kind of changed with a bunch of other stuff. So I'm going to hold right. I'm going to see that slope there. We're going to actually do a jump cyclone real fast. Boom, boom. Cancel it, and then damage boost. If you did that correctly, you can walk through this whole area with absolutely no problems. And you just go, and then there's a slope down here. We're going to hit that. There we go, picks up momentum. So once you hit this, she's going to fall down, and then we'll like this. There is two ways to do this. I'm going to show you the way that everyone else does it, and then I'm going to show you my way. Because I like my way. It's 100% success. It's much higher success rate. It's a lot less dangerous. But it's a little bit slower. So the way you're supposed to do this is you're going to bop up, just hop up a little bit. Because you can't hop as long as you're holding a hang bar. And then boost right. You want to be following the path of this whole thing. So here, I'm going to attempt to do this here. So I'm going to bop up, boost. I think I went a little too high there. And this is kind of why I don't like doing that method, because that can happen. It's very precise. Hop, boost. There we go. Got it this time. And now Lilac is gonna, oops, sometimes that will happen. You don't have the down kick here, actually. Contrary to belief, you do not have the down kick. She'll just fall herself. Once you start falling, you're gonna keep falling, and then once you get here, once again, slopes everywhere. You're going to do a ground cyclone off this right slope. Oops. Oh, wow. I missed it. But if you get that correct, which I will show you when you get it correct, it's not that difficult. Oh, missed it again. It's pretty tight, and as you can tell, I'm not used to it. There we go. She'll go up here. So once you get up here, you should end up right here after going up that slope. You only get one shot at this, by the way, so you have to get this right. Once you get up here, you see this spring? We have to hit this spring in a specific way. Now, the easy way is, oh, just bop off the screen and, oh, go up this ladder. It's actually slow to do that. The faster way is hit the very top rightmost corner of the spring and immediately, almost immediately, do a cyclone off of it, like this. Oops. Oh, sorry, I hit the center of the screen as soon as I say that. There we go. So it's pretty scary, but there we go. Once you do that, you can get Lilac up here, which is a lot faster than just climbing the ladder. And once you're up here, you can just, grab this, move across, grab this, and once you just go towards this corner and boost top right, down kick, you hit the slope, jump off the slope, and then fall off the screen, fade out. Nothing complicated. The whole complicated part was doing that initial boost. The problem with it is, you saw what happened, like, it's a very tight maneuver. When you get it, it's very quick, but it's tight. So I'm going to show you my way a little bit. Also, if you notice, you need to have that energy bar full, because you need to boost off that hang bar. So I'm going to show you an alternative way. So the alternative is this is actually a lot easier, by the way. Hold down right, and as soon as you you start going down, and you start approaching that, do a rolling boost to the top right. Like that. And then you can just down kick, oops, you end up here. So you end up skipping that whole damage boost nonsense, and you can just guarantee get across it. If you do it right, you should be able to hit that slope as you come down. And once you land here, though, if you notice that I kind of went back a little bit, but your energy bar is nowhere near full. It should be like maybe like 2/3 there. So you're losing time just idling. Where's my energy? But what you're doing in this case is you don't want to boost off this. Instead, you're just gonna hop, spin, delay. When I say delay, like move back a little bit, or just wait, just to let Lilac orientate herself, lose all of her momentum, and then slope off of this. Drop kick off this slope to build up momentum. And then once that happens, Lilac will start going down like this. So it's like we're doing the other thing, but we're going too slow to do the ground cyclone to get up there. But we're not trying to do that. Instead, we're gonna jump off normally, not do a ground cyclone off this slope now. Now notice how cyclone, now how we hit like right where the spikes of the ceiling in the background are. Once we're there, we're gonna do a boost to the top left. But we're not going to be boosting onto that platform. We're actually going to do wall walking. I go hit it. Oops, I let go of the boost a little too much. Let me try that again. You hold the boost. There we go. She walks off the walls. As you go, once you boost off it, you hold on right. She walks off that wall, and she will literally just walk right into this, basically. You may have to adjust her a little bit, but she'll walk right into it. This allows us to avoid a number of things. One, you can do the easy opener, which may or may not be faster. Two, you can avoid that tight boost you have to do, which you could potentially screw up. And three, it allows us to avoid the tight spring maneuver as well. I mean, honestly, if you do that the harder method, it is faster. I guarantee you that it is faster, but it can be a little inconsistent here and there. This is usually very consistent regardless of what happens, which is why I tend to prefer this method. And then you just kind of treat the rest of this stage like you did before, because you'll have the same amount of energy to clear it, like so. Alright, so this screen. Alright, this screen right here is actually a very challenging screen. Even for the best players, they can struggle with this screen. So what we're going to be doing is, you see this chest. We don't actually have enough energy, because you notice that we kind of boosted off that previous corner to come down, jumped off that, and fell off the screen. We did all that. Because now, when you do that transition skip, because while you're actually going through a transition, you're actually regaining energy. But when you do a transition skip for that 0.25, 0.33, whatever seconds, you're not actually regaining energy. So our energy bar is actually too low to actually do this segment. So we have to hit this chest, get that energy. Now, what we're going to do is, we never have an, on Dragon Valley 2 was it 2-2, where we boosted onto these. No, not 2-2. 1-2. Not 1-2. Is it 1-2? Yeah, on 1-2, how we boosted onto that curve, and then we walked up the walls, and how we just did it here. We're gonna do it again, but on this very tight little slope here. Once we do that, we're going to. You notice how the slope kind of connects and it goes onto another straight edge, and we have this red platform thing. This is actually for Carol, but we don't care about it, because what's a Carol? But we want to jump on some point between where the slope hits that straight edge to the edge of this red platform. Somewhere between there, we want to do jump off of that, do a down kick, and then immediately do a a jump off at with a spin, and then immediately do a down kick. And that's going to go ahead, and this is going to so ever slightly slip us. It's going to drag us along this and slip us right in between all of this. I know it sounds like crazy, but we're going to slip between all of that, and then we're going to end up right here. To which we'll do a boost right, which will actually destroy this platform. Instead of normally you have to hit it or spin. No, if you just do a boost, it counts as destroying it. So that's basically what's going to happen. It's as crazy as that sounds. So you're going to collect this, jump up, boost into it while holding left, and we're going to jump off right about roughly here. We're in between the two. And then jump. I did a jump, jump, down kick. Now, this is very tight. It's very precise. You notice I hit that thing, but if you do it correctly, you should actually fit through the entirety of that whole segment. Oh, that was a little bit early. So if you're dragging off it too long, you're kind of doing it a little bit too early. Yep, yeah. So as you can tell, it's not easy. There is a couple of recoveries, but I wanted to show you what it looks like if you can get. There it is. You'll just it's like threading a needle through a hole. Sorry, a little wire through a needle in through a hole, basically. And once you get over here, you can just kind of jump off that and then boost. See how that all just kind of comes together. And then you do a ground cyclone and then another cyclone, which I kind of didn't do that part right, but I'll get to show it again, so don't worry. So as you can tell, it's extraordinarily tight. It takes a lot of practice. Even the best players won't get this right sometimes. So don't be disheartened if you don't get it like this. Now, something I do want to show you is, what if you screw up? Let's get real. You probably will. Even I screw up all the time here. You either will hit this one, which is fine, or you'll hit this one, which is also fine. Once you get here, you can just jump up, down kick off of that. You should be able to do that. It's an awkward slope like that, and just jump off, and it's as if you got it right. You lose some time from just getting stopped by the wall, but honestly, it's much quicker if you get everything. Alright, so once again, once you get up here, you're going to boost, drop kick across, and then once you hit the slope, you kind of want to do it right here. There we go. Notice how it dropped down a little bit? That's the perfect takeoff launch. It's a down-up maneuver, but we need to do it just enough to get underneath this. And then, oops, if I did that right and I didn't pause buffer as much, I would just do another, because I noticed how we kind of did a ground cyclone. Because remember, as soon as you do a ground cyclone, you're allowed to do a normal air cyclone. It doesn't count. We could technically do another cyclone here, and it would look like that. And we would just kind of just barely get over it, so we don't have to hit that platform. That brings us up and is much, much faster if I ever get it right. So once we're here, we can just kind of jump, pull on this. This is just to open the area down. Just do a drop kick there. It's pretty straightforward. And then once you're here, you can do another drop kick to speed up Lilac's fall speed. And then when you're roughly underneath the ceiling, you can just do a boost right, a nice little short boost, and then push this on. So once you push this on, there's a couple ways of doing this. I'm just going to do the easy way here and show you that. Is you're just going to, let's see here. Let's put Lilac right here. It's safe. So we'll get one shot at this. You're going to hop into these springs, hold down right. As soon as she falls off where it's about to, let go. Just let it go. She's going to fall, and as soon as you hit this platform, we're going to immediately do a jump down kick while holding right again. Like that. So once we do that, it threads again through this very tight needle, because there's a lot of springs that slow you down, and we just hold on right. You're going to be a bunch of springs you're going to walk right into. As soon as you hit it, down. Just like that. Make sure you give yourself some height. Just jump yourself up here, and boost. And there you go. You got through that whole segment. There's a lot of very precise movement on Relic Maze 2-2. Don't expect to get it all right on the first try. So don't panic if it's not working initially. You'll get it through practice. Once this door close, now there is a fade out skip on this door. It's the same as every other fade out skip on Relic Maze. It's 100% given. It only activates as soon as you hear the door close. I heard the door close a little bit. I don't know if you guys caught it, but I definitely did. So I know it's safe. And also you can tell the screen slowly kind of fading out. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it. It works fine. So here in this room, this is the last room we're gonna really do. Always go left. Just trust me. We go left because there's two rooms, one on the left, one on the right. The right one contains the bone golem, this one contains this annoying room. The reason why we do this one in particular is because we're going to boost out of the room on the right, so it's kind of need that energy, and it's just quicker because the exit is on the right instead of the left, so doing the left room first is a bit better. You're just going to follow through, there's nothing special, boost, climb up here, just knock on that. Once you get roughly on that corner, you're just going to do that. Okay, it looks like I got all the way up, that's pretty odd. Usually I don't get all the way up, instead I have to move through here. Once you move through here, you can just kind of jump on the edge. It's forget of physics. And then once you get through here, you just cross. I mean, this is really not complicated or convoluted. Alright, so the bow golem is a little bit more complicated. And this I will actually explain. So, you see the two jugs where the bow golem's like neck and head are? There's two jars there. Pop them. Because, and remember like how hitting units sometimes will just drop a few frames? We don't want those frames dropped to screw anything up, so I do tend to destroy both of these jars. The boss won't activate until you walk to or just slightly past the gem in the center. Alright, so there's two ways of doing this. There's a 3-hit method, which is much faster than the 4-hit method, but the 4-hit method is guaranteed to work all the time. So I'm going to show you the 4-hit method, which is as soon as he is fully built, we're going to hit him 4 times, and then boost, right where his gem is. So why not do the 3-hit method? It's actually the same thing, because 3-hit method, you just hit him 3 times and boost. Now, the 3-hit method, the problem with it is you need to make sure you do a full 3 hits, meaning every tick of damage is applied. If you don't do every tick of damage, the boss will not die when you boost, and this is very bad. The 4-hit method guarantees the boss will die, but you lose a little bit of time getting that 4th hit in because the frame drops and whatnot. So I like to do the 4-hit method just to guarantee he dies because I have a tendency to either screw up the boost or screw up a hit. So hit, 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 boost. So obviously, was it necessary to do that 4th hit? Probably not all the time, but it does guarantee. Notice we just kind of boost off. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. So you actually can fade out on this door, but this door is different from all other doors. Let's just say that. Because if you notice, like, hey, every door is fade outable. But you notice on the other door, on the other side of the room, we didn't fade out because specifically, for whatever reason, this room, the fade out transition skip here, it kind of bugs out the game. Let's just say that. What it's going to do is it's going to lock your menu. You have to treat this like a normal fade out. So I don't recommend this one, and it does lock your menu, and if you die, you will respawn with 0 health. It really does bug out the game. So this one, I strongly recommend you don't, but if you want to do it, you need to make sure the screen is pretty dark, just like we did on on Dragon Valley when it showcased that, how that fade out. It's going to be like that, but just as dark. So, a little bit more. This is for safety, and boom. Fade out works. Now, I cannot restart the game, so here's look at this. See, you can tell I'm pushing buttons. Menu's screwed up. This will actually unscrew itself when you go on to the next level, thank God. But you cannot restart, you can't do anything. And if you die during this boss fight, you notice I just kind of popped up. You can actually do a high cyclone here, by the way. It is perfectly valid. Yeah, so you can't do that. You do want to get up here, because now we just did bow crystals, we can get through. Or you're just going to hit the slope. I do an uppercut here. A lot of people, some people don't, but I like to stop, because once she lands here, and you just do a normal boost like this, you're going to be guaranteed full energy when you hold right. Because, as you're holding right, you want to have max energy for this boss. This is Manolith. So, once you get to Manolith, Manolith is a big troll. The second you lose control of him, and you just stop doing things right, he's very annoying. He's very hard to get back on track, no matter what you do. So, what we like to do is we like to get 2 free hits in. We call this the timer freeze. And this is takes a lot of practice, but if you get it right, and it's a little bit difficult, but it does take practice, you get this right, the timer is not going to be counting. And this, since we don't do RTA, this is a huge time save, since we don't do RTA. So, a lot of people like to go right to left. I'm a little different. I like to go left to right. That's just me. It doesn't matter which way you go, honestly. It really doesn't. It's whatever your preferences are. But I will show you the left to right method. Now, you notice the center pillar and there's a crystal. We want to sit facing right between those two. Okay? Alright, notice how that exclamation came up. I like to count to 3 seconds. Because on the 3rd second, mana lift is going to start falling. So watch. 1, 2, 3. Once I said the 3rd, I'm going to hop up. Oh, look at that. He comes right up. So right where the crystal tip is, or where the top of the crystal is, we want to boost going right. Oh, I screwed it up. Darn it. So yeah, it's very, very tight, as you can tell. So I'm going to go ahead and give this another shot here. So thanks to the magic of... Yeah, so you notice how I knew that wasn't going to work? That's how tight this is. I'm going to try this again. Here we go. Go right there. 1, 2, 3. Jump up. There it is. Oh, I fell short. So you notice what we're trying to do is we're trying to knock both the arms off and then immediately hit the head before he finishes his cutscene. If you do that correctly, again, it will stop the timer. 1, 2, 3. Jump up. There we go. Okay. Got it. Alright, so if you have to be very quick on your toes to do that, but also I accidentally did a long boost there, you should do a shorter boost whenever possible because you need to regain control of Lilac as quickly as possible. As soon as you get that, if you notice I have control of my menu, I think some people, you may have noticed that, some people may have noticed it. It's because I restart using the trainer, but if I didn't, I wouldn't have any control of the menu, so don't worry about that part. But if you're fast on your toes like that, that happens. And once this happens, mana left is still in the cutscene. So you notice there's no timer, no health, no nothing. You cannot recharge energy, by the way, in this method. So once this happens, I could just sit here, wait, and we can pause buffer until mana list starts appearing. Once he starts appearing again, notice how I'm like still in the center because we want him to fall wherever. I'm gonna immediately do a punch, and doing a punch, even though he's gonna hit us, there's a few frames where the punch is still going. And this will actually still damage mana list's right arm, since we're facing right. If you face left, it will damage his left arm. So watch. See, even though even though we got hit, you notice as I pause buffer, he's still getting hit. And once we regain control of Lilac, we're gonna immediately do an uppercut and down kick going left immediately, like this. And then we hit the head. Boom. We immediately run left. Once you get here, stop. Roughly around the beacon of lights. He's gonna do this again. Repeat. Boom. Up, down. Up, down. Alright. So he's gonna hop around like a little annoying bug right now, and then you just hit his face. Notice how I'm staying right where the a dead mana list's eye is? This is the perfect position to do boosts going left, because Lilac will not follow screen. She just kind of stays there in midair, and this will actually screw up his left arm. So once his left eye is knocked out, another hit will take out the right eye, and the last hit will kill him off. So we're going to be waiting. There he is. Punch. Uppercut, down kick, and now we're going to do a boost added on after doing uppercut, down kick, and then boost. We're going to hold that in as a long boost. I'm going to maximize it, and then just punch him. There we go. So if he falls off screen, though, it's bad, because you cannot punch him when he's off screen. Right, he's still biting. I can hear him. So it means he's going to hit me a little earlier. That sometimes happens. It's again, same method. Just, oh, I missed the punch there. And then he's dead. Simple as that. 34 seconds, not terrible. There's always room for improvement, but having that timer freeze is vital. It's very vital for a very good time on Relic Maze. So that was the whole routing. So now we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put everything together and see how that goes. How everything's supposed to look. So here we go. Ideally, I want to get under 4 minutes, ideally, but knowing me, I probably won't. So here we go. I'll pop off that, hit that, just a little bit off. Boom, boost. Uh-oh, see, that's what happens when you miss it. You have to get, it's sometimes tight, even I screw it up, there we go. Now I finally did it right. That's why I like doing the second one, you get that little extra air. Boost. There we go. Alright, I just wanted to be safe. If you do it a tad too early, it doesn't count that you went through the door. So I am conscious of that, unfortunately. Oh, messed up that boost. So I'm gonna do a really cool trick here. If I tend to mess up that boost, there is a micro slope you could jump off here. It's very tight. Let's see if I get it. There it is, got it. So I know that was really quick, but on that slope, if you're quick enough, you could jump off that slope. It's really tight, but you get maximum speed off of it. It's incredibly difficult. Do not do it. But it's a very good backup should you ever mess up. So there you go. Got the slope, which means I'm fine here. I missed that boost. Unfortunate. Hit that. Come back up. Fall down the hole. Fall off the slope. There we go. That was a very good exit. There you go. And that's the way it looks like when you do it correctly. You just kind of go up the ladder. Just kind of go up. Alright, there we go. Oops. I came down a little too slow. Gotta go for the high cycle. Got it. Oops. They go left to left. Sometimes I tend to do that. I get a little too anxious, but that's just me. Alright, we're gonna wait until that last one blows up. Okay, once the crystals appear, again, you can go ahead and reset. Just fall down, boost, another fade out, go cross. Alright, so that was the first part. I was not even paying attention to the time. I think I got like 104, 108. Probably a lot worse than that. I usually don't do well on this. 109. Okay, I'm fine with that. Oh, that's a little too high. Oh, okay, I got a little nervous there. If you go too high like that, it sometimes will trigger the boss fight. You actually have to fight it, which is basically an automatic restart. Getting about 110 on by the gem is usually pretty good for beginners. Or, you know, people who stink like me. It's a very good time though. You want to get roughly around there. Alright, so we're going to do the double jump method. Oh, I didn't get it, so I'll have to do... I didn't get any of those damage boosts. I will do the easy way though. Oh wow, I got hit a little too fast there. There we go. I'm running a little bit low on health, but that's okay. I will get some health back. Health is usually not a problem on this stage, you're gonna notice. Oh. See, I got that. You have to wait till you get those energy orbs. There we go, got it. Okay, woo, that was really tight. We got it. Yeah, sometimes you can get it in awkward positions like that, but sometimes it just won't go through. Let go. Do it again. I was a little slow takeoff, but it's fine. As long as you're attached, you're fine there usually. There we go. And pop. Wait for the door to close. Now you're good. 215 is not terrible there. Alright. There's no reason to sit on this bench. It's just something I do. Some people pick up on that. Some people don't. Some people like to hop around. You're just basically waiting for this auto scroll to kind of do its thing here. Okay, and boost across, come up, boost here. Yeah, oh, there you go. So that's a little tight jump, but if you get on the very edge, you should be good. So entering this boss right here, mid boss under 3 minutes is usually very ideal. I'm gonna do the 4-hit method here because I don't trust myself. You saw that my first hit actually did not do enough damage. I missed a couple of frames of it. That's why I like doing that 4-hit method. Leaving this room at about 3 minutes is very good. Uppercut, boost. I'm entering this boss with a little less health than I like, so what I might end up doing is I might avoid taking a hit as I fall. Usually you want more health than this. Alright, we're gonna go for that timer freeze. 1, 2, 3, jump up, and there we go, got it. Oh no, I missed the last hit. Oh well. So I'm gonna avoid this hit right here by jumping up. Oops. If you do it fast enough, you can actually avoid that hit completely. There we go. Yeah, I'm probably gonna avoid some hits here because I'm running really low on health. Nope. So you remember I said like if you stop doing what you're supposed to be doing? Yeah, that happens. He just goes all over the place. He's pretty erratic. So honestly, when you do that jump method, you're doing significantly less damage, which is really bad. And again, he comes off screen. You just can't do anything about it. Now he's just messing with me right now. Yeah, so this is like what happens again. Alright, so one more hit should do him in. There we go, now we got him. Now we're on track again. There we go. So I almost got under 4 minutes there, which is not too bad. But this is roughly around a time you want to be looking for. Maybe for your first couple attempts, you might be looking at 4:30. But as closer you get to 4 minutes, the better, always. Also, if I got the timer freeze there, that would easily been under 4. So yeah, well, some of the stuff is not easy. I mean, this is free to plan for you. But that is the general routing for Relic Maze. There's a lot of slopes, a lot of technical movement, a lot of technical little tricks you're gonna do, a lot of threading needles through tiny holes. You're gonna see a lot of that on Relic Maze. So don't be discouraged if you struggle on some of that stuff. It just takes a lot of practice, and the more you practice it, the more second nature it becomes to you. So with Relic Maze out of the way, we get to the fun level, which is going to be Fortune Night, and this is another technical based level, but we get a fun glitches and tricks we get to do all over the place, and I really love these tricks. It's so much fun. So on our next video, we will get to do Fortune Night. So I will see you until then. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you're keeping up with your practice, and hopefully you got these 2 levels down bad. Because in Fortune Night, we're going to see a lot of what we did before, but to an extreme in some cases. So, alright, so hopefully you guys will be ready for Fortune Night on the next video. That is all for now.